And that's if things don't drag on too long. The problem is this Delta variant is like an angry little chihuahua running around the countryside, infecting everyone.
I'm George Markowski and welcome to the Positive Property Show. Our mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom through property using the Markowski method. Join us.
Hello. Hi there. Welcome. George Markowski and Belinda Flaherty coming to you live on this lockdown. Now,
Hey,
go
I'm not in lockdown. I'm in Brisbane. I'm in Bribey Island. But everyone else is, by the sound of it.
So look, if you're watching live, can you please type in hashtag live? Now, hello to freedom fighters. If you're hi Lisa, hello freedom fighters and welcome. We've got a really interesting session today. I'm going to be asking, are we headed for a recession? And look, I've got to ask these questions. I'm normally positive about everything. However, I need to still look at the figures and see what's happening. So today, what I want to do, guys, is mention one thing, right? And thank you for commenting. Hi, Nico.
Hello.
Tyson, how are you? Now, look, people actually commenting and interacting. When you do that, you give us energy. And the more energy you give us, the more fun we have and the more fun you're going to have. So, guys, if you want to have fun, please interact. If you're on, because the more Kane and Denise, hello, how are you? So if you want to have fun, please interact because it's more fun that way. Now,
Absolutely.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a summary. I'm going to talk today what we're going to talk. We're going to talk about lockdowns, unemployment. We're talking about the government thinking about the government thinking about scrapping stamp duty. And the one other thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about why I hate holidays. No, not holidays, public holidays.
Public holidays.
And I'm going to explain that to you. And I might even divulge something about me in the bedroom too. No, seriously, because luckily Christina's not here, so I can talk about it.
Don't get too raunchy, George. Might be too hot to handle.
Well,
we want to keep these people on our Facebook.
Okay, so let's talk about the lockdown to start with, right? So Bill Evans from Westpac, he reckons the current lockdown is going to cost us $8 billion. And our GDP is going to fall 0.7%. Right?
Wow.
Right? And that's if things don't drag on too long. The problem is this Delta variant is like an angry little chihuahua running around the countryside, infecting everyone, right? I made that up, the chihuahua thing. You like that?
I love the chihuahua analogy. That's fantastic.
Right? So they reckon we could come bouncing back in December quarter, right? But if the lockdown drags on for longer than we expected, then we can easily get a negative, right? And find ourselves back in a double dip recession.
A double dip even?
Yeah. So look, that's not great news. Not great news at all. But I want to keep it real though. And this is the thing. The reason recessions suck is because people stop spending, right? And then people make less stuff. Because they make less stuff, it creates unemployment. Then when there's unemployment, people spend less money, even more of unemployment. And then guess what happens after that? Assets start going down. We start getting deflation, right? But let me tell you where we are at the moment though, right? I mean, we've had amazing 12 months of lockdown. We still are the richest country in the world, right?
Bonus.
We've come out fighting, right? Not only that, we've got the strongest labour market and with the lowest job vacancy. The ratio of unemployed people compared to job vacancy is the lowest level going back to 1996.
Wow.
So, guys, we can weather this pretty easy. It's a bit...
we can toughen out this storm.
Well, let me give you an example. This lockdown's got to cost $8 billion, right? But guess what? The Reserve Bank is printing $4 billion a week. So in 2 weeks, they've just covered it. Hello.
Only 4 mil?
4 billion.
Only 4 billion. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a bit like this. You've got a teenage daughter and she takes the money out of your wallet, takes $800, but you're making $400 a week anyway. So you'll make up for it anyway. Doesn't matter, right? That's what the lockdowns are.
I like your analogy, George.
A naughty teenage daughter, but the Delta variant's like an angry chihuahua running around the place going yapping around. I mean, funny enough, I've been looking at buying something from Europe. I've been talking to this guy from, I don't know, somewhere in Northern Europe. He's got a bit of an accent, really cool guy. And we're talking the other night. And he goes, I heard you guys were in lockdown. I go, yeah, we had one person with COVID. He's like, wow, one person. He goes, we were getting 10,000 people a day when we had lockdown.
Wow.
And they don't even blink if there's 400 people. They don't give a, they're very different ideas over there. Now, I don't know who's right or wrong. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. Us Aussies are tough. We certainly are. And our economy is even tougher, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're tough.
Yeah. So this is the deal. Guys, welcome to what I've been doing for a long time. Welcome to working from home. And how's it going for everyone? If anyone's working from home, please type in the chat, especially if you've just started. I'm very curious to see your experience.
Yep. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Just give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, because I've been my own boss for a while now, right? And, I've had a fully equipped home office for ages. I've been doing this for years, even when we had the office. By the way, drum roll, we closed the office, officially closed the physical office.
Congratulations. Yay.
But I hadn't been there. I wouldn't even go there, right? Oh, yeah, I've been working from home for 1 year now. Yeah, a lot of people have. Yep.
Love it.
You love yourself? Love it. Yep. I thought love it. Yes, love it. Love working from home. I'll get back at least 2 hours per day. Yeah, exactly. So I've been working from home for a long time. And the thing is for me, where I'm at in life right now, the distinction between work and pleasure is a bit of a grey area, as you probably know. Because I really love what I do. I love the way it challenges, excites me. When my mind wanders, often wanders, into how can we do better for our clients or our members. I love it. I'm really into it. A lot of time I'll go for dinner with Christina. We'll go to a nice restaurant and I'll go, Christina, can I please bring my iPad so I can write down a few ideas? She doesn't mind. Even when we're having a bath together, I like to think of ideas because that's the best time sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I love what I do. So my work and my pleasure are almost one and the same. For me, work equals pleasure. And not everyone can say that, right?
No.
Right. So, for example, I've learned that when my wife wants me to pleasure in the bedroom, it doesn't not mean bringing the architectural plans for a 12-lot townhouse development to bed. Right. And since my work and pleasure are closely aligned, I have a funny relationship to holidays. See, because I've been my own boss, I get to set my own hours. So if I do some great work, I can actually just give myself a day off. I say, you deserve it, do it, right?
Yeah.
So I really get to do whatever I want. That's the fact of it. And the reason I do that is because one of the reasons I get to do what I want is because I love what I do and I make money out of property. And, my property portfolio makes me more money than anything else can. So it doesn't matter how hard I work, my property's going to make more money. And that gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
But this is the deal. So after I started working for myself, the only value I saw in holidays like Easter and Christmas and everything else, apart from observing the appropriate rituals and all that, was that it gave me a chance to coordinate a day off with my friends and family.
Yeah.
Right? Because, there's a long weekend. I know all my friends have got the time off as well. We can go out for a drink, right? So, But this is what happened, right? After a while, see, most of my mates and friends have invested in property now too.
Yeah, that's
right?
it.
And I sort of just stopped hanging out with people that are tied to a wage slavery. So what's happened is holidays have lost their coordinating power now, almost. You know what I mean? We've still got a few people in the group, and we like to coordinate because, we coordinated recently. We went to when we had the yacht. Was that a holiday, a public holiday or not?
No, that was Easter.
There you go.
We hired a yacht. And we cruised around the Whitsundays, spearfishing.
Yep.
And living off the land and stopping into Hamilton Island.
Yeah, funny enough, right? The more time I spend outside the system, the more strange it is to me. Funny, the powers that be have decided that we don't have to work today because it's the Queen's birthday or whatever, right?
Yep.
Praise our glorious Queen. But don't get used to it because you got to go back to work on Tuesday. Back in the sugar mine, lackey. So you see, you're not the master of your time. And back when I used to work for someone else, I just accepted it. It was the same for everybody. Everyone lived by the gracious governor's clock. But I think there's something very disempowering about letting external force control the time when someone else decides whether you work or not, whether you play or not, or what time you get in. I remember I used to go to work and I've never been a morning person. So I used to always get in trouble for coming a little bit late, right? So even a subtle level, you're giving away some of your power away when you work 9 to 5.
Correct.
Right. So I think that's something to think about.
And look, can I just say to you, and I'll say this to any of our members that are watching, with all these different lockdowns that's going on, what's one good thing about what we're doing for all of our members? They're still making money.
Yep.
They're positive geared.
Exactly.
So, they might have, look, we only had a couple that lost their jobs through it, but their positive properties were still churning.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, look, I think that the first step to creating, what I'm saying is, some people love their 9 to 5 jobs. I'm not knocking that, but
Of
there's a lot
course,
of who don't.
absolutely.
And I'm curious, who loves their job? Type in "I love my job," and who doesn't like it so much? Maybe I don't like it so much, but I'm very curious to see that, because at the end of the day, whether you love your job or not, I really believe financial freedom is something that is really worthwhile. But you know what? The thing is, it's not easy. Physically, it's easy. I love my job. Facebook user. Excellent. You love your job? Fantastic. Love my job. Fantastic.
Love.
Fantastic. And look, I love it. And I think if you're fortunate enough, because I was reading Good to Great by Phil Collins, and he was talking about level 5 leaders, love my job, our company mission and values. I don't like it so much. There you go. See, exactly. And look, I wish I do love my job, but I wish I had more time to do arty things. It pays the bills, yeah. Look, the thing is, the fact that is we need to work, we need to make money.
Yep.
And the fact that is we need to do that. But I really believe if you haven't replaced your income through property, that should be your number one goal. Now, this is the deal, right? A lot of people, George Markowski, your team loves what they do. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Yeah, look, I'm very fortunate because I work because I love what I do, but I get to choose to surround myself with people that I love and people that I appreciate and people that are awesome.
Yeah.
That's your plan, Lisa. Well done, Lisa. I love it. Lisa's plan is to replace her income through property, which is an excellent plan. Lisa, you're a champion. High five to Lisa. And the fact of it is, it's not easy. And anyone telling you that's easy, they're just downright lying. I'm sick to death with these companies out there going, you can buy a property, make $1 million overnight and blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. Property takes time. It takes time. It takes effort. And really, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly.
That's right.
And remember, we spoke about it last week, the 2 things holding you back from property. One thing is the things you know, right? And see, the thing is, a lot of times, the wealthy investors, they've got tried and tested systems that work. And until I discovered those, I was struggling myself. And the struggling investors, they just don't know what they're doing yet. That's why they're struggling. But once you know what the wealthy investors do, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, there's no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. It's the slow and steady and doing it properly wins the race.
Absolutely. And so this is what New South Wales government is actually planning to phase out transfer duty in favour of land tax. Right?
Interesting.
Yep. The ACT government has slowly been reducing transfer duty, increasing land tax since 2012, and plans to have duty entirely phased out by 2032. Now, I don't know if you realise, ACT, their land tax is just so high.
Through the roof, I've heard.
I know Nick comes from ACT. I posted in the group a while ago, which is interesting.
Yeah, you actually showed something on Facebook recently where you showed all the different land tax state by state. That was really interesting.
Yes, I'm going through now and just having a look at Australian Property Chat because I want to go through that because, one of the worst places in the world is ACT for land tax. It's terrible. It's so shocking.
Yeah, wow.
This land tax, even when I was playing Monopoly, I hated land tax. So if you bought $1 million of land, right, what would happen is in Northern Territory, you'd pay 0 land tax. In WA, you'd pay $2,700. In South Australia, you'd pay $4,800. Queensland, $4,500. New South Wales 4,000, Victoria 2,975, Tasmania 11,587, ACT
Wow.
10,856. Now, this is the deal though. What you have to understand is when you look at ACT in Tasmania, even though they sound the same, they're very different because ACT's got very expensive property, right? Oh, Nick, you're in Queanbeyan, which is in New South Wales, of course, smart man. But see, you look at Tasmania, they've got really cheap property prices. So therefore, it takes a while to get there, right? So
Yeah.
So they're thinking about doing that. But Victoria now has the largest effective rate of transfer duty on immediate property, around 5.5%. Can you believe that? Typical Victoria,
Wow.
right? So now, back in 2002, it used to cost you on a median property $12,000. Now it's $45,000.
Interesting.
So Victoria is seriously becoming, I've seen what's happening in Victoria at the moment. It's fascinating stuff. And I think what's going on is, one, they're starting to tax the shit out of everything and everyone.
Yeah.
Excuse the language. But when a government normally starts taxing everyone really heavily, not a good sign.
No, it's not.
Means the economy is going to go down and they're usually going to be not doing too well because you can't sustain that. You can't just tax everyone. Usually that's bad. So look at California. They've been taxing everyone and going up to 6.5% for stamp duty. Look at that, going up again.
Wow.
Yeah, so what happened is, you look at California, is they've been taxing the crap out of everyone because they can, Silicon Valley and all that. So guess what people
Yes.
are doing? They're moving
What
to
are they
Texas
doing?
where there's no tax.
Oh, right.
They're going to Austin, Texas, where there's no tax. It's an amazing city. And guess what? Elon Musk moved there. He's building a massive factory. Everyone's just moving there and just moving their businesses. That's what happens.
But for Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, so Melbourne used to attract a lot of people because they were so competitive. And now
Yeah.
Melbourne was slated to become the biggest city in Australia.
Yes, it was.
Not anymore.
I know.
They're losing people now every year. They're negative migration.
Yeah.
They were the fastest growing city in Australia.
Wow.
And they're not now. They're shrinking. They're actually shrinking. And guess who took the top place now? Brisbane.
Brisbane.
So you know how you've got the most populous, biggest state of population is New South Wales, then Victoria, then Queensland. Well,
Yep.
they reckon in 10 years' time, it's going to be New South Wales, Queensland, and then Victoria.
Yeah, well, it's moving that way. I mean, the stats are all pointing at stats don't lie.
I wouldn't surprise me in the future that Brisbane's going to be bigger than Melbourne and more expensive and better. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I feel that Melbourne have just lost their mojo. They were doing really well. They were kicking
They
up.
were going great guns.
And then
Look, I've been
what's his name?
Yep.
Dan.
Trader Dan.
Yeah, look at the migration stats. Yeah.
Yep. Guys, I mean, I'm over here at the moment. I love Melbourne. Melbourne's my favourite city in the whole wide world. But I've been over here in Brisbane for the last week, and the weather, the food, it's been amazing. Like, I actually have considered possibly moving over here.
Except we're going to have to kidnap you and move you to Adelaide because you're my bestie. And then we'll just go over for holidays.
Yeah, okay. You kidnap me.
If you leave Victoria, you're coming to Bali or Adelaide. That's it. End of story. You know that.
Love it. Love it.
Belinda and I have been best friends for like 20 years now, over 20 years.
We sure have.
And you know what? I love it that you get to hang out with your best friend and work and do this sort of stuff. It's great. So look, I'm ready to answer some questions.
Great.
So guys, bring them on.
Guys,
Q&A
this
time.
This is question time, guys.
And
bring it on. Yeah, this is your time to ask questions.
Oh, okay. Lisa's got a hot seat Zoom after this. Remember, I have a Zoom link for 7 p.m. Great.
Oh.
Only 6:24 here, so Let me have a look.
It's 6:54 here. So we're...
Yep. We've got half an hour. We've got time for the hot seat.
And that's all right. And by the way, Lisa, it actually starts off. We've got a bit of a starter before George and I come into it. So
Okay.
let's go.
The
Situation.
isn't it safe in Asia at the moment? No, it's not. So therefore, I've postponed my trip. Lisa will be there with bells on. Don't worry. So when is it time to sell investment property? Good question. Okay.
All right.
Usually never. Okay, so look, the thing is,
Depending on the property, though, right, George? Depending on the property.
So this is what I'm going to say, though. Yes, of course. Brisbane has secured the Olympics. Thank you, Nico, for telling me that. That's awesome, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bring up the Olympics because you guys posted it last night.
Yeah, no. So look, it's very exciting about the Olympics, and the Olympics are going to give. You know, we talk about boom stacking.
Boom stack, boom, boom.
Look, I posted about the Olympics recently. A lot of people said, "Oh, it won't make any difference." Well, look, if you look at South Korea, Seoul, the capital city, after the Olympics went up 700%.
Yeah.
Sydney went up 40% after the Olympics. Right.
Yep.
So there's the stats. London didn't go up. So some do, some don't. But if you look at boom stacking, but you look at Brisbane, such a beautiful sunny place, it's going to go up. If Barcelona went up, Barcelona went nuts. So I'm going to the Olympics. Are you coming?
Yes, I'm coming with you. We're going to definitely, absolutely, 100%.
Only 12 years to go, I think. So we'll get there.
No, 2020. I thought it was 23.
Yeah. So 12 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. We're going.
We're going.
We've been George, we've been friends for 25 years.
2032.
What's another 10 years?
What's another 10 years?
What's another 10 years? Okay, let's go back down to the bottom. How
No, let's go back to the first one about
down to the bottom of
when is the best time to sell. Okay, look, this is my rule, guys. What you need to do is there's a thing called demand supply ratio, 16,000 suburbs in Australia.
DSR.
And look, the fact of it is, if your property is in a suburb that's going to go down in value, you want to get rid of it. Yes. If it's going to go up, you want to keep it. Hopefully, if you buy right, then you get to keep your suburb, keep your property, not your suburb, and just do it. Because you make your money when you buy a property, not when you sell. So I want to just cash out using the bank to do it that way. North Lakes is a good area. North Lakes is not bad at all.
Not bad. You've just got to be careful on what part of North Lakes. It's a huge area.
How soon should investors get into the Brisbane market? Will it be very expensive in years to time? Look, guys, the fact of it is, I always say, never, ever, ever rush. Okay? Yes. Don't rush. You want to do it right. So there's a whole, the whole adage, where they say measure 10 times and cut once type thing. Mm-hmm. You have a red wine as well? Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, Georgie. Here we go. Cheers.
So look, that's why we changed to Thursday night so I can have red wine. So guys, the fact of it is, you want to really get your ducks in a row. Get it right. Because buying a property takes a lot of effort. If you're going to do it right. Get the right property, right strategy, get it all perfect. Because you can't afford to make mistakes. So if you don't get this FOMO, there's a lot of people at the moment getting FOMO and just jumping in and buying anything and overpaying and paying too much. And I'm just against that. I'm really, and there's a lot of, companies out there putting pressure on people saying, you've got to buy, you know what I mean? And really, no, take your time, do it right, make sure you get your numbers right, be totally comfortable, and then you buy. I'm totally against people rushing into things blindfolded. I really think you need to do your due diligence and go through every step. And that's, what we do on our program. We've got a 12-step program.
12 steps.
And what happens is, instead of doing one step, buying a property, right? which is just ridiculous. That's like jumping over a cliff. What we do is we've got these stairs. You climb down the stairs one step at a time. And you do one step at a time so you can make sure you get everything done properly. You cross all the T's, dot all the I's. And you need to do that. Yes, my next investment will be in Queensland. Very good idea, Lisa. I think it's a good place. Now, Melbourne, due to COVID, has seen people leaving. The price of units have dropped drastically. Wouldn't Melbourne be a good spot to buy for the long term as better than Queensland? Good question. No, because, see, the thing is, people get this wrong. If property prices are going down, I don't want to buy where property prices are going down. I want to buy them where they're going up, right? Because I'm looking long term. And the long term demographics, like, units in Melbourne and Sydney have dropped drastically. The vacancy rate is like 8 or 9% in Melbourne at the moment. And I predicted this 5 years ago, by the way.
You sure did. I mean, you've got podcasts that talk about this stuff.
So I predicted this already. And this has got nothing to do with COVID. COVID just accelerated it by a few years, but it's to do with units being shit. But also, the challenge is the quality of units in Melbourne especially are terrible. They're very small, they're undersized, very poor workmanship. There's been units burning down in London, Sydney, and Melbourne. It's crazy. So, I don't look for properties that are going down. I look for properties going up. It's very different. You've got to swap it around because when you're looking for properties going down, it's like catching a falling knife. You're going to get cut, right? And I've seen so many people, try to get a bargain. There's no such thing as a bargain. The market's the market. The market pays what it's worth. So
correct. Absolutely.
You're not getting a bargain.
Exactly. Let's go. Next question.
E.g., after 10 years to pay off debt and pay down other investment property loans or purchase new investment. Look, well, with us, right? Basically, with what we do is it's 10 properties in 10 years.
Yes.
Right? So what you're doing is accumulating the properties. And once you accumulate them, once you get 10 properties, our members at the moment, they're buying properties and they're probably positive $50 to $100 a week.
Yeah, right? On average, so, beautiful.
And some of them are buying properties little or no deposit as well.
Yep.
I recently had 2 old friends that actually bought property. The banks kept saying no. They joined our program 5 months ago. They got 2 properties. They already made $200,000 in the last 5 months.
Lovely. Happy days.
I know. How awesome is that? And we went out for a nice lunch. I bought them a bottle of champagne, which is very exciting. But
lovely.
The thing is, I suppose what our goal is to buy property with little or no deposit using equity. And then each property you buy, you're actually making positive cash flow. You make $50 to $100. And within 10 years, without using any of the money out of your own pocket, this is using tax dollars, by the way, you end up with 10 properties, you end up with $5 million equity and $250,000 a year income without getting out of debt.
Happy days.
Why would you want to sell that income? Because that's the golden goose. So when people say, I want to sell my investment property, it's like if you bought a golden goose and this golden goose was laying golden eggs every day, would you sell that golden goose?
Sell it. Would you sell that goose?
Or would you keep the golden goose?
Keep the golden goose.
Or, why would you chop its head off? Like, not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, come and stay in my investment. There we go.
Ha ha.
Awesome. When we go up to Gold Coast or Brisbane, yes. Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Okay, next. There should be an Olympic event for property investing. Lol, you would win gold.
That's so good. We've got Facebook user. I want to know who that is. That would be hilarious.
Look, this is the deal. I would win gold, but you know what? That's because I've got an unfair advantage. So they could call it cheating because I can predict the market. So it's sort of unfair.
Yeah, you can predict the market, but also, and you've had so much experience as well.
Olympic costs states a shitload and they are lost. What are people waiting for 1 month of Olympic visitors? Yeah, look, I've heard that is the case, but property prices go up.
Yeah, property prices will go up.
As usually, depreciation finishes after 10 years. That's right, it does. But what we're doing by then is depreciation finishes after 10 years, but after 10 years, you probably need to spend some money on your property anyway.
Yeah.
Right? That's the fact of it. I remember I bought a property in Perth, cost me $220, went up to, I think, $690 after about 10 years, so nearly tripled. But I had to spend about $12,000 on it to just fix it up, and then I've got depreciation again.
Yeah.
So
Keep going.
don't sell until you need to. If it's gone up, keep. Yeah, that's right. I only sell if it's a shit property or shit area.
It's you really want to believe in that kind of buy and hold mentality.
Lisa's got red and with cheese. Nice. I love it. Cheers, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa, where's the cheese?
Okay. How do we tell the difference between the get-rich-quick mobs and people like you that generally want to help us smartly property long-term? Well, guys, I really think you can tell who walks their walk and who talks their talk. And that's what you look at. You know, people that, you know, are spruiking around the place and saying, hey, you know, you're going to make lots of money and everything else like that. You can tell success leaves clues.
Correct.
Right? And you need to look at those clues. But also, I guess what we do is, that's why we do the 14-day challenge, to give people a test run of our program and check it all out themselves. You know what I mean?
And also get to understand our company values. Very important. And, you know, you want to make sure that you've got mentors that have got real life results. Like all of our coaches, we've followed George's stuff. We've got the results. We're investors as well. So you've got to kind of do your own little due diligence in that sense. And
just about every single person in our company, actually, every person in our company has got a property. And
everyone in our company,
all of them except for one are on the program and property investors.
Correct. Absolutely.
Cool. John said nice answers. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. And thanks you for
John.
some questions. So how is it possible to buy a property with little deposit? I have a friend who's depressed after his divorce, as he now has zero, but he does have 200,000 super. He thinks life is over. What should I tell him? Well, one, tell him life's not over, because
it's not over.
You know what? Sometimes things happen in life, but the thing is, he might have zero, but having 200,000 super is a good start, because I'm not qualified to talk about super. But usually, if you got over 180,000, you might be able to do something. You need to talk to an expert. And that's
question up, George, just so we've got it highlighted.
It doesn't fit.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So tell him to have a glass of wine, cheer up, and join the group.
It's not all doom and gloom. He needs to get his right tribe around him. He needs to absolutely.
Mirani McKay.
Thank you. I don't know what that means.
No, I bet you something very interesting, because I know Nico is a very clever man and he's always got something interesting. So I'm going to quickly Google it and see what it means. Oh, Mirani. That's in Mackay. Yeah, so that's out in the middle of nowhere in the sticks.
Mackay is not a good area to buy.
Look, the fact of it is, there's two places I stay away from, right? I stay away from boom towns and mining towns. Right? I stick to capital cities or large regional centres. I want a lot of population, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So Lisa said, you keep it real, George. Lived experience and sharing knowledge is amazing. Thank you, Lisa. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Yay. Good on you.
I
love that feedback.
There's an ad saying 10 properties in 10 months.
Yeah, right.
Look, that is hilarious. Now, look, I really think
they should be doing Fringe, the comedy hour. 10 properties in 10 months.
Yes, I've seen that ad actually.
Is that just, tell me about it, George, because I haven't seen it. Is it just a big hook to get you in on one?
Look, if it's the people I know about, unfortunately, what they did is they weren't very ethical with what they've done. I don't know much about it, but I heard they're getting investigated, and they just
they are. Yeah, I was going to say they must be.
They bought a dump and sold it to old grannies and grandpas, and then.
Oh, that's so sad.
But look, the challenge is, right, and I saw this happen. We had a member in Melbourne, remember? And he got a letter. He got an email from this company. This company said, invest 90,000. We invest 90. We do the build. We make $1 million. We give you half. And he goes, wow, great deal. I'm
perfect.
Like, don't be stupid. I mean,
Exactly.
if they could make $1 million, right, then why would they want your 90,000 if they can make $1 million that easy? But he did it anyway. I tried to stop him, and he did it anyway. So, because
Yeah.
the challenge is, unfortunately, people get caught up in greed. And look,
Yes.
if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
True.
And that's funny enough. A lot of times I say, get a property for less than $50 a week, because if people knew it was positive, they might think it's too good to be true, but it's not, right? It's a no-go zone.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it is.
Yep, Mackay, no-go zone. Yep. Don't go there, sunshine. They might have sunshine, but don't go there, sunshine.
Buying where I want to live is a bad investment. So do I rent my whole life? Can I build a strategy that means I can buy and live in my own home one day? Yes, absolutely. So look, I'm look,
Investing, Rentvest.
right. So look, this is the deal, guys. By the way, just got an announcement to make. Listen to this.
Wow. Go
Guess
for it,
who's
George.
joining us live at our one-day property summit in September?
Is it the man himself?
Yes. Robert Kiyosaki is going to join me. We're doing an event together.
Really? You're doing an event together? Fantastic.
Yeah. Robert reached out to me a few weeks ago, and through a mutual contact in Sydney. And what happened was he was interested in doing some property education, and he heard about my reputation. And you know how I met him, and I gave him a copy of my book anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a bit of a chat to make sure we're the right fit, because both of us really want to be careful who we deal with, because we want to make sure they're the right morals. He didn't want to deal with someone 10 properties in 10 months type person. I didn't want to deal with the wrong person either. So we had a bit of a chat and a few emails here and there, and we're on the same page. And we're going to be doing a one-day workshop. This is going to be amazing. We're going to be using, we're going to be teaching people rich dad concepts and Markowski method all in one day. And
wow, that's so exciting.
Thing when you look at his concepts as a broad thing, right? They're the same values and concepts I've got.
Absolutely.
His values and concepts work, but I've got the strategy down pat that he hasn't got for Australia. So
yes.
You put things together, they're really powerful. And we're going to be inviting all of our members to join us on that.
Oh, fantastic.
But also, I'm going to be doing a special one-on-one Q&A at the end for our VIPs. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a competition for our group here. It's going to be great. We're going to do a whole Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock for the VIP. It's going to be exciting.
Great. What date is he coming?
We're just negotiating now. We're going to be doing it live online.
Oh, perfect.
We don't want to get him locked out.
No, I was going to say, absolutely. So no moral compass, 10 properties in 10 months is making money out of someone else's misfortune. I'd like to sleep at night. Correct. Exactly. I'd like to sleep at night too, 100%.
Fantastic. Exactly. That's really good, Lisa. Okay, so let's talk about reinvesting again, right?
Reinvest.
I was talking to a good friend of mine recently, right? And he wants to buy a home to live in.
Yep.
Very successful, wants to buy a home to live in. Because what we do is we deal with a lot of successful business owners. Mm-hmm. And with business, right, you might make profit with business, but you need to convert that profit into wealth. And that's where we come in. And that's why, I've done a lot of speeches with different groups to help these successful business owners get their profit and turn it into wealth. And we've got some very successful, we've got some of the most successful business people in Australia on our program.
Yes.
Right now, and what I said to my friend, who's quite successful in business, but hasn't got a lot of properties, I said, look, you don't deserve to actually have an owner-occupier.
Wow.
And I was being honest with him. You don't deserve it, because an owner-occupier costs you money. You want your dream home, earn it. So I had 15 properties before I bought my property.
Yeah.
That's because it cost 10 properties to pay for my $3 million beach house, right? Now it's probably worth $4 million. So, imagine $4 million in debt. That's a lot of money. I need 10 properties to pay for it. Just the interest.
Yes.
Now, a little bit less because the interest has gone down. But at the time, you know what I mean? So what I suggest is what you do is Rentvest, earn the right. And once your passive income can pay for your owner occupier, buy whatever you want. So I don't mind you spending money. Because, I tell everyone, save and invest it in property. And I'm saying do that. And then people go, well, George, why have you got a $4 million house? Why have you got a convertible Porsche? Why do you spend so much money? Because I've earned the right. Because once you earn the right, don't be tight with your money once you've earned the right. Because I really think there's two types of money. There's passive, there's active. Now, if I have to work for $1, I'm going to save that dollar. Because I put sweat and tears for that dollar. I don't want to spend that or waste that. But you know what happens? You know what I do with my passive income? I blow it. I spend it. I have fun with it. That's what it's there for. Because the beautiful thing is like the golden goose. So this week, all the rent that I got this week, I can just go blow it all. And guess what? It comes back next week again. It doesn't matter. But if I have to work for something, I have to get up and work for it again. So guys, your passive income, spend it. But your active income, save it. And until you've got enough passive to pay for your own occupier, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lisa's going to come. Awesome, Lisa. See you there.
Good on you, Lisa. We like you, Lisa.
Okay, so Belinda, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad book in my 20s. Yes, I did too, and I loved it. That cash flow quadrant is amazing. Markowski plus Kiyosaki equals awesome. Yes, thank you.
Love that. Awesome.
Birch is going home. Isn't all that bad. It's a different strategy. Look, it's not all that bad, but most of the times it's cheaper to rent in a good area.
Yeah. I mean, I rent fair skies. So, I rent where I want to live. I buy a property where I want to make money.
But should be done only if you can afford it and still live the lifestyle you want. Exactly. Thank you. That's right.
And absolutely.
You're producing income from investments. Exactly. And that's the money you can spend. That money is, you can spend it. I mean, I remember when I was in London, and Belinda came to Adelaide to hang out with my wife, Christina. You guys were having fun. And what happened was I was in Dubai, and I wanted to buy some caviar and surprise Belinda and Christina because Dubai is close to Iran. And everything.
I do remember that. That was a good night.
The best caviar there. And I look over there, and it's like $500 for a tin of caviar. I'm thinking, how cheap is that? So I thought, stuff it, I'll get free, right? So cheap, right? So anyway, so I'm lining up, and there's a lineup of like 20 people, and I'm lining up, running late for my flight, lining up. I finally get there, and I realize it's 500 per something, but it ended up being 3,000 US for these 3 cans. And there I am in front of all these people. Now, that was a lot of money. It's not one of my proudest moments, but people were watching me. It was passive income. I thought, stuff it. And I did it.
Yeah.
On my way home from London, I caught up with some friends and we went out partying and all that. So I was pretty hungover. So when I went to the plane, I just went up to the counter and said, look, here's my credit card. They gave me my own room. I had my own room. And look, but if I had to actively work for that money, it cost me like 12 grand to fly from London to Adelaide. I would not spend active money on that. No way. That's just stupid. No. So if you're spending active money on that sort of thing, you're dumb. But if it's 12 grand you didn't work for and it just keeps coming back into your pocket, who cares? And there's a big difference there because that's the important thing to know,
Absolutely. And can I just say something?
Yep.
How fun was that night when you brought home the caviar? Because we sat there, we drank champagne, we ate the caviar. It was amazing. And can I tell you, I still remember that day clear as, and those kind of moments are really precious.
Oh, look, you know what? Having my 2 best friends waiting for me at my house, my wife and you. Oh, that was amazing. I loved it. And, I was so glad that I got a chance to spoil you girls, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it was lovely. And guess what? We enjoyed being spoiled.
Absolutely.
That was great. It was really good. It was so much fun. And those moments are really precious because, that's what gives us meaning.
Well, look, exactly. I think at the end of the day, I'm planning on I'm going to be doing a VIP workshop on a yacht.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm planning on doing later this year for our top clients. It's going to be exciting.
Great stuff. Let's get back to questions because we're nearly finished.
We've got 5 minutes, and then we've got to go to our hot seat for all our people that are doing
Are you producing income from your investments? Oh.
No, you are. She said you are, and I am. Belinda.
No, you are. Yep.
So, guys, who's coming to our hot seat? Who's part of the 14-day challenge? I'd love to hear from you. I think
Put your
Lisa.
hand up. Lisa's definitely. She's already put that down.
Yeah, so guys, we've got 5 minutes. We can do one more question and answer, and that's it. And then I'll do a summary of what we talked about.
Here we go. There's another question that's come through.
Okay. Can I ask? I've purchased a property. During earlier this year, and I've had an evaluation of the property come back 35 less than the purchase price. Should I panic? No.
No way.
Purchase prices and you know, the fact of it is property's gone up everywhere in Queensland anyway. And I know Jura
everywhere's going. Yeah, Jura, absolutely.
The thing is, what you need to do is do our training on how to increase the value of your property, just so you can get the real inside scoop. So there's different, depends on who also does the valuation. Exactly. It depends on the day, if they had a good day or not. Maybe his wife didn't have sex with him that morning and he was pissed off. Right? No, but look, seriously, I've had properties for clients, 3 towers next to each other, and I've had one being complete 40,000 difference, you know what I mean? So 30, there's normally a 5 or 10% variance. So anything 5, 10%, not to worry about. Anything more than that, if it was like 20%, I'd be worried. Definitely.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
They're always conservative. They're always so conservative. I mean, they certainly are. You get an experienced valuer. They'll give you a better valuation. Okay.
Yes.
So we've got Belinda here. How do I buy investment property and keep it separate from my own occupier home? Okay, keep it separate. You're probably, Belinda, I think, I'm just trying to guess here. I did that monitoring course in Newcastle. It didn't work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So, Belinda, I think what you're saying is, another Belinda, and she's blonde too. There you go. I think what
she
you're
must
saying,
she must be a good sort. Anyway,
absolutely.
keep going.
Belinda, I think what you're saying is, how do we make sure we don't cross collateralize? And that's very important.
That's what she's saying.
So, unless I know your situation, I don't know exactly how to do it for you. But what normally we do is we get your own occupier, and then we use a bit of the owner occupier as equity for the investment property, and therefore you're using some of that. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're like, "Oh no, I'm risking my house."
Scared, risking your house.
Which is true. However, it's better than using cash because cash is safer, and you put it in the offset account, and then you're covered. And I go through this in depth in that 14-day challenge. But
yes, you do.
It's very important. The one thing that's important, Belinda, is to keep yourself safe. And the thing that's going to keep you safe is actually buying in the top 100, and 2, using a cash flow calculator and making sure the repayments are really small, or making sure that it's positive, and then it makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
In the program, will I ever get to the stage that I'm knowledgeable enough to know where to buy, where the top 100 suburbs are, how long it takes to learn this? Okay, great question. At the moment, what I do with the top 100 is, that's my IP, and I don't share the exact list with anyone, but I do share properties in the top 100 with our clients. The reason being this is I charge developers, $50,000 to $100,000 for this list, and they sign.
Yes, you do.
And they sign a non-disclosure agreement where I can sue them for $2 million if they do share the list, because it will cost me that much, because that's the one thing we have that no one else has got. But guess what I'm doing next week?
What are you doing, George?
I'm going to be releasing the top 10 and the bottom 10 suburbs to the public.
Oh, wow.
The reason I'm doing this, I'm going to do this in the public to prove my point, where we can go back and you can look at these suburbs and see what they did.
Love it.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm going to share the top 10 with everyone.
Wow, that's pretty good stuff, George. I mean, that's your IP,
On national television. National television.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there you go.
Wow. Fantastic. I love it.
So I have 2 side mirror image. They were valued differently. Yes, exactly. That's what happens.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to valuations.
Borrowing off the equity of own home. Yes, we always use equity for own home.
She's actually written after that, I'm scared to do that.
I'm scared to do that. Yes, Belinda. And you know what? You should be scared to do it, because if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. So,
Exactly.
but what you need to do, Belinda, is get yourself educated. And what happens is once you have enough knowledge, it won't be scary. And when it's not
No.
scary, then you should do it. But if you're scared to do it, don't do it because you're scared for a reason, because you may not have enough knowledge. You shouldn't be doing it. You're welcome. Thank you for playing and interacting with us, because I tell you what, the more people that interact with us here, the more you're going to get value. I love it. We've actually got 3 minutes to go.
Got
Lisa,
3 minutes.
We've
got 3 minutes, and then we're going live into our 14-day challenge masterclass. If there's anyone watching, we do a 14-day masterclass. The whole idea is we want you to create your own blueprint. It's
actually,
a great
it
education.
starts in a couple of weeks.
Another question just came through.
There is a risk. However, if you buy the right investment property, then go for it. Look, there's a risk with everything. Life is risky.
Risk crossing the road.
That's right. You know, if you want to be safe, go in a little padded room, wear this little padded jacket. They'll give you 3 meals a day and you'll live a long time. But what a way to live, right?
We'll give you a sumo suit.
The thing is,
fall down, bounce back up.
Better get ready for the hot seat. Absolutely. That's right.
Yeah, we need to get ready for a hot seat.
Get ready for the hot seat. So, guys, look, I just want to say, let's do a quick summary of what we spoke about.
Let's do a summary. Beautiful.
Okay, so we spoke about the double dip recession. Is it going to happen?
Dip.
We're talking about lockdowns, unemployment, scrapping stamp duty, why I hate holidays, why I'm not allowed to work in the bedroom.
We talked about
the Olympics. Yep, and stuff like that. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Now, remember, guys, if you enjoyed this, please, share this, invite your friends to our group. I really want to grow our like-minded group of people here in Australian Property Chat. And if you're getting value out of this, please get like-minded people. If there's someone that you love, you care for, someone that can get advantage of this information, bring them on. I want to get this group growing big. Our overarching goal, our unstopped mission, is to empower 10,000 Australians to create wealth through investing in property using the Markowski method. That's what we're doing. So,
I mean, you might have friends or family that are investing. They're trying to do it on themselves. Get them involved, because they can ask questions, and those questions really, they're valuable because we can speak back to the group and everyone benefits. It's a win-win scenario. Absolutely.
So, guys, have a lovely Thursday night. Hope you enjoyed it.
Lovely.
We're here every
Thursday, get to the hot seat.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes.
So make sure you join us. See you then. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. Great chatting to you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. I'm grateful for all our listeners around the world. If you found this podcast valuable, please share with someone that might find this useful, and please join our tribe of purpose-driven investors, increasing income and impact in our Facebook group, Positive Property. Please note, with a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and a passive income, I've become incredibly successful in investing in property. The fact of it is, however, many people may find investing in property challenging. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work. However, becoming educated to make an informed decision and having the right advisors gives you the tools you need to succeed. The most important part of this formula, however, is to actually take action and apply that knowledge. It is important to understand the information I share is of a general nature only and is not taking into account your unique circumstances. If you're considering investing in any asset class, you need to seek the advice of an independent professional advisor who will be able to look at your specific situation. Be sure your advisor has actually achieved the kind of results you're seeking. Many won't have, so beware. We've taken great care putting those educational resources together. We'd be surprised if you didn't find any errors or omissions. If you do, our legal team says we have to say we're not responsible for those. In fact, as with all things, even your success, we're not responsible. That responsibility always has and always will come down to you and the actions you take. We're passionate about supporting you in that process and helping you increase your ability to create wealth, live the life you desire, and provide all the things you dream of for you and your family.